A warm welcome to all of you. I am Roshali and today I am going to introduce one more type of semiconductor, power semiconductor, IGBT, which is insulated gate bipolar transistor. So far you have studied different power semiconductors like SCR, Triac, power MOSFET. So it is very easy to understand the last type of this semiconductor IGBT compared to that. So in today's session we are going to see introduction to IGBT, what is IGBT, its construction, operation, static VI characteristics, switching characteristics, safe area of operation and applications. And last we will summarize our session. So let's start with the first point, that is what is IGBT. IGBT stands for insulated gate bipolar transistor. Like power MOSFET, IGBT is also voltage control device. It combines the best qualities of power MOSFET and bipolar transistor. It has input characteristics of power MOSFET and output characteristics as bipolar transistor. So in other words, it has a high input impedance and low state conduction loss like in case of MOSFETs, and it has no second breakdown problem like bipolar transistors. IGBT is also known as COMEFET, that is COMFET, conductivity modulated field effect transistor. It is also known as insulated gate transistor or bipolar mode MOSFET, bipolar MOS transistor. So these are different nomenclature for or naming convention for IGBT, and this is the schematic and this is the diagram or a picture of IGBT. You can see it also has three terminals, gate, drain and E is emitter. So let's move towards the construction of IGBT. So this figure shows the vertical cross section of N-channel IGBT. It also uses a vertically oriented structure in order to maximize the area available for the current flow. This will reduce the resistance offered to the current flow and hence the on-state power loss taking place in this device. IGBT also uses gate source structure in order to reduce the possibility of source or emitter current crowding. The doping levels used in the different layers of IGBT are similar to that of MOSFET, except the existence of P plus layer that forms the drain of IGBT. So here you can see the P plus layer. It is directly attached with the collector, or in this case drain, which is also known as injection layer, whereas this N minus layer is known as drift layer. The middle layer in between P plus and N minus, which is N plus layer, it is called buffer layer. The P plus drain contact and N minus drift layer with this middle buffer layer has a sandwich structure. But this N plus buffer layer between these two is not essential for the operation of this IGBT. IGBTs with buffer layer are known as punch through PT IGBTs, whereas IGBTs without this N plus layer or buffer layer are termed as non-punch through, that is NPT IGBTs. So let's see operation of IGBT. As shown in the circuit symbol of IGBT, this is a N-channel IGBT. It has a three terminals, namely gate, then collector or drain, and then emitter or source. In p-channel IGBT, the direction of arrowheads would be reversed. In this case, it is inward, so it is an N channel. If it is reversed, then it is a p channel. So when the battery Vg is connected in between gate and emitter in such a way that the positive terminal of battery is connected to the gate terminal, whereas negative terminal of battery is connected to emitter of IGBT. By connecting other source VCC, the collector terminal is made positive with respect to emitter. So due to this, the junction J1 P plus N minus, this junction will be forward biased as the positive terminal is connected to the collector. So J1 will become forward bias and the J2 junction will become reverse bias, that is N1P. So the current will not flow through the circuit because of this reversed bias junction. So as we increase this Vg voltage, that is a gate voltage, as this Vg starts increasing till threshold, the capacitance will be present in SiO2 layer. Thus, at the side of this gate terminal, negative charge carriers and positive ions will get formed at the type. So as the gate voltage Vg starts increasing till VGTH, that is a threshold value, the capacitance will be present in this SiO2 layer. So what will happen due to this capacitance or due to this increase in gate voltage? The negative charge carriers will get formed at the side of this gate terminal, whereas positive ions will get formed at the side of semiconductor material. Here you can see this negative sign at the gate side and positive sign at this semiconductor material side. So because of this, there will be insertion of negative charge carrier in P layer in this region. So higher amount of Vg voltage, the more amount of these charge carriers, and due to this formation of channel, the current will flow through the device from collector to emitter. What will happen due to this channel? There was a depletion region because of this reversed bias J2 junction, but as the charge carriers, negative charge carriers in P layer increases, as we are going to increase this gate voltage, this negative charge carrier in P layer will form the conductivity in circuit. So current will flow through the device from collector to emitter by tracing a path P plus, N minus, P and N plus. So in this way IGBT works. This is about the operation. Now we will see the static or VI characteristics of IGBT. Again, there are two types of characteristics like power MOSFET. The first one, transfer characteristic, and second, VI characteristics or output characteristics. So if you remember, to plot transfer characteristics of power MOSFET, we considered input voltage and output current. So these power characteristics or these transfer characteristics of IGBT are identical to that of power MOSFET. It is also drawn by considering a plot of collector current IC versus gate to source voltage, that is VGS. Or initially, when no VGS, no voltage is applied, the ID does not flow through device. That means when VGS is having a very low value, that time ID in IGBT case, it is IC collector current, the value of IC was 0. So at the threshold, means when VGS is greater than VGS TH, that is its threshold value, the current starts increasing. Suddenly, the collector current IC increases after this threshold value. So, the characteristic curve is non-linear for low values of collector current, whereas it is fairly linear over the most of the range where the collector current is higher. In order to operate this IGBT in the linear region of these characteristics, it is obvious that it is necessary to apply this VGS greater than this threshold voltage. Then only this IGBT will work for the high amount of or high value of collector current. So this is about the transfer characteristic. Now we will see output characteristics of IGBT. This is a plot of VCE versus IC. That means output voltage versus output current. When there is a no voltage applied to the gate, the IGBT is in off state. In this state, the current IC is 0 and the voltage across IGBT is equal to the source voltage. So if the voltage VGS is greater than VTH, that means the device is in on state and IC will start flowing. So similarly, as if you compare it with the MOSFET characteristics, for the lower values of this VCE, IC is 0. At certain point, it will increase and then again IC will become constant for some time, and then after breakdown or this VCR, suddenly there will be rise in current. So as the collector current increases with the increase in gate to source voltage, to make this IGBT operative, we have to give high value of this input voltage, that is a VGS. So higher the VGS, higher will be the IC, that is collector current. Then it is similar to that of power MOSFET. If you remember, when there is a no current conducting, it is a cutoff region, and after this avalanche breakdown, it is a saturation region. This is active region. So if you observe, the forward breakdown voltage, that is BVCER, is a voltage at which this avalanche breakdown takes place, a sudden change in the current or sudden rise in the current, right? So at this point, the voltage across the device and current both are having high values. Here the voltage is also having high value and the current is also having a high value. So the power dissipated in this device will be very large, as power is the multiplication of voltage and current. So power dissipated will be very large. That's why this device must be therefore operated below this voltage region, below this saturation point. So this is all about the static characteristics of IGBT, transfer and output characteristics. Now we will see switching characteristics of IGBT. So here you can see this figure shows turn off or turn on characteristics of IGBT. That means switching characteristic, switching between turn on and turn off. So again you can see here, this is a plot of VGE, then VCE and ICE waveforms are there. So as initially VGE is 0 or very negligible value, that time VCE is high and ICE is also 0. As we go on increasing this gate voltage VGE, the current will start increasing and voltage will drop. After certain time, IC, that is collector current, will be constant and then it will fall. So in case of power MOSFET also we have seen turn on time and turn off times. Similarly, here also we are going to see when the IGBT gets turn on and turn off. So total turn on time is a combination of turn on delay time, TDN, and rise time. It is nothing but the time between the instants forward blocking state to forward on state. So what is TDN, first turn on delay time? The time for a collector emitter voltage, that is VCE, to fall from its high value, that is 1, to 0.9 VCE, that is 90% of this VCE. So the time taken for VCE to fall from VCE to 0.9 VCE, this time duration is known as TDN, where VCE is the initial collector emitter voltage. So this delay time can also be defined in terms of IC, that is our collector current, as the time taken by the IGBT for a collector current to rise from its initial leakage current ICE to its 0.1, that is a 10% of IC. So here you can see TDN, the delay time is nothing but when VCE output voltage drops from its VCE value to 0.9 VCE, 10%, or in other words, output current ICE rises from its leakage value ICE to 10%, that is 0.1 IC. So this time duration is known as TDN. Then the second is rise time. Time taken by this IGBT or device during which the collector emitter voltage VCE falls from its 0.9 VCE value, that is 90% of VCE, to 10% of VCE, its 0.1 VCE value. This fall 0.9 VCE to 0.1 VCE, this time duration is known as TR, rise time. It is falling, but still it is called rise time because this rise time term is with respect to the current IC. The rise time can also be defined as it is the time taken for a collector current to rise from 0.1 VCE to its final value IC, that is a maximum value IC. So this is the same duration. If you see 0.9 VCE to 0.1 VCE, in the same duration IC increases from its 0.1 value to its maximum peak value. So this duration is known as TR, that is a rise time. So composition of this TDN and TR collectively known as T on, that means turn on time for this IGBT. So after this T on, the device is in on state. The device carries a steady state current IC and the collector emitter voltage falls from small value called a conduction drop, VCES, where S subscript denotes the saturated value. So this is about turn on time. Now we will see what is a turn off. It consists of three intervals. Here you can see the first one is delay time, TDF, the second one is initial fall time, TF1, and final fall time, TF2. So T off, that is a turn off time, is a composition of TDF plus TF1 plus TF2. So what are these timings? Now we will see one by one. So first TDF, delay time, the time during which the gate emitter voltage falls from VGE to its threshold value. From its peak value to its threshold value, it falls down till threshold is called as delay time, TDF. As VGE falls, from VGET to TDA. During TDF, the correct collector current also falls from its peak value to 0.9 IC. At the end of this TDF, collector emitter voltage begins to rise. So after this delay time TDF, VCE will start rising, where ICE will drop till 0.9 IC and VGE will drop till its threshold value. So this portion, this time duration is known as the delay time TDF. Then the next is first fall of time, TF1. It is defined as turn of time during which the collector current IC falls from its 90% to 20%, 0.9 IC to its 0.2 IC. It is falling like this. So this duration is known as initial fall time, TF1. It may also defined as in terms of VCE output voltage when the collector emitter voltage rises from its VCE value to 0.1 VCE. So the next is final fall time. It is a time during which the collector current falls from its 0.2 IC value to 0.1 IC, from 20% to 10%. Or in other words, in case of VCE, we can say it rises from 0.1 VCE to its final value, that is a maximum VCE. So this is called as final fall of time. So what happens in turn of time? IC in delay time, it decreases from its peak value to 90%. In initial fall time, from 90% to 20%, and in final fall time, 20% to 10%. And so that of VCE increases. So this is all about the turn on and turn off timings, that is switching characteristics of IGBT. So during both turn on and turn off, the IGBTs have robust safe operating areas. Let's discuss in the next slide. So this figure shows a forward bias safe operating area, that is FBSOA, whereas the figure B shows reverse bias safe operating area, that is RBSOA. So this first square for short switching times identical to the safe operating area of power MOSFET. If you remember, it is a very similar. For longer switching times, IGBT are thermally limited as shown here. So this is also identical to the safe operating area SOA of power MOSFET. Then in case of this RBSOA, that is a reverse bias safe operating area, which is different than the FBSOA. The upper right hand corner of this RBSOA is progressively cut off and the RBSOA becomes smaller as the rate of change of reapplied collector to emitter voltage becomes larger. That is, when the dVCE by dt becomes larger, this operating area decreases. The reason for this restriction on this RBSOA as a function of reapplied dVCE by dt is to avoid the latch-up. Too large value of this dVCE by dt during the turn-off will cause the latch-up of the IBGT, exactly as in case of the thyristor SCR, if you remember. So this value is quite large comparing a favorable with the other power devices. So how can we control this dVCE by dt? By proper choice of this VGE, our input gate voltage, and the proper choice of gate drive resistance, this dVCE by dt can be controlled. The latch-up is avoided by proper setting the maximum collector current IC max. It is usually determined on the basis of dynamic latch-up conditions. There is also maximum permissible gate emitter voltage VGE max. As long as this voltage is not exist, exceeded till its threshold, the collector current IC, that is IC max, should be larger, and this will cause the IGBT to leave in on state and enter the active region where the current becomes constant independent of this collector emitter voltage. Under these conditions, the IGBT must be turned off as quickly as possible because of excessive power dissipation. This behavior is described because latch-up will not occur and gate control over the collector current is maintained. So this is about the safe operating area of IGBT. Now we will see what are the applications. So we can see here in elevators, in inverters, AC servo robotics, welding machines, then SMPS, UPS like power supplies, then ignition control battery charger, in transportation also IGBT can be used. So these are the various applications of IGBT. So in this lecture we have seen what is IGBT, its different naming conventions, then construction of IGBT, its vertical cross section, then operation of IGBT, static characteristics, transfer characteristics as well as output characteristics, then the switching characteristics, its turn off and turn on time, and then safe operating area, and at last the applications. So this is all about the IGBT. This was the last semiconductor of unit 1. We have studied SCR, silicon controlled rectifier, then triad, triode for alternating current, power MOSFET, and IGBT. So I'm going to share my notes on ERP portal. Go through it. I have given prerequisites as well as this unit 1 notes. Prepare it well and give the Google quiz. It is a very simple unit for studying. So till then, stay home, stay safe, and happy e-learning. Thank you.